Okay, so this is day number 5 after I returned my Samsung Ks8500 to Best Buy due to the fact that there was damage to the screen. They decided it was best to they decided pretty much it was better to just give me back the money I spent, which was the best outcome you could get in that situation. And the unfortunate part is that they don't no longer make this TV, so it's very hard to find. TVs have gotten like cars, except much worse. They make these TVs annually, and if you have a TV from a year prior to the year you're in, you could still find a TV. But if it's more than a year, then you're definitely gonna have a hard time walking into any of your local electronic stores and finding these TVs, because simply put, they push newer TVs and they get rid of older TVs, which means once you buy like a 5-year warranty, if your TV breaks down within 2 to 3 years of your warranty, you'll probably end up getting a newer TV, which is what they told me when I did get the warranty. But you know, from the looking around that I've been doing, I don't like the progression I'm seeing as far as these TVs go. However, as you can see behind me, this is the Samsung X900F. I did a lot of research on what TVs to get for 2018, and this TV kept coming up. Now, there are some problems with this TV, and that's why I'm making this video. And I decided I'm going to start making different types of videos talking about the tech and, you know, the features that these TVs, quote unquote, keep having, because there's a lot of nonsense going on. First off, this TV actually has to be returned back to Best Buy. Why? If you look in the back behind me, there's a staticky effect on the PlayStation theme. I'm not going to get into it in this video, but the bottom line is HDMI port 2. For some reason, Sony, pardon me, has 2 ports out of 4 on your TV that can do extreme 4K HDR. That's the term they use. And pretty much you have to turn on this feature in order to get full 4K 60 HDR, 444 chroma subsampling, and all that good stuff, yada yada yada, right? Apparently HDMI port 2, when I turn on extreme 4K to get the HDR feature and to get the full resolution of my PlayStation or my Xbox or even my PC, it has this effect that you see in the back on blacks. All blacks have a snowy effect. I thought it was the HDMI port. I thought it was actually the HDMI cord. So I switched out various cords, and for some reason, depending on the cord I plugged in, I actually got a much worse result. Now, I didn't understand what was causing this, so I turned the extreme feature off, and of course, once I turned the extreme feature off, I checked the panel's output. The display output is pretty much 8-bit. So when I turn on extreme 4K and go into 10-bit, the color gamut causes some kind of noise in the picture. Now, I tried my Xbox One X, I tried my PlayStation 4, tried my PC, I tried 6 different HDMI cords, 2 of which were specifically for this, and all of them are the same results. However, the amount of noise in the background is different. I don't know what's going on, but I've come to the conclusion to just take the damn TV back, because when I look this problem up, nobody seems to have any clue of what the hell I'm talking about. There are like specific little places where they mention something like this, but I haven't been able to get any concrete information. So I decided, let me just go on ahead and take the TV back. Now, I haven't decided if I'm going to replace it with another Samsung or get the Sony replaced. I'm thinking I might get the Q6 and try it. Now, before I say why, let me explain something and be very, very transparent with anybody who clicks on this who is not familiar with my channel or familiar with what goes on here. I am a TV peasant. I come from the lower end of TVs as far as, you know, when I game, I just try to make sure it looks good. I don't go out and buy the most expensive TV I could find. I don't blow a fortune and buy the Maserati of TVs. I just want something that's going to look good to me. And that's my ideal when I buy TVs. And the reason for that is because I know that next year there's going to be a new TV. If I start buying the high-end TVs, like the $3,000 to $5,000 TVs, I'm gonna want the one that comes out next year. And knowing that the TV I have is now obsolete or considered old, let's be honest, to us geeks, nerds, whatever you want to call yourself, the people that's into the tech, you're going to feel obsolete. You're going to want the new one. And I don't want to spend $5,000 to ride off the lot and literally the new TV just came out and now I feel like I got the inferior TV. Because this HDR, you got HDR1, which I never heard of before, which is something that they consider it hits the HDR color gamut, but it's not enough to be considered HDR10. Now you have HDR10, which is simply static HDR data. Now you have HDR10 Plus, which is metadata, more advanced, giving the HDR10 more information, allowing for more color control. Then you have Dolby Vision, which now we come to find out is actually better than HDR10 because it handles colors better and it has what's called smart metadata. Whereas HDR10, once again, like I said, is static data, meaning it only tells every color to do one thing, whereas Dolby Vision actually looks at the colors and determines which color looks best for this scenario. Meaning Dolby Vision is clearly better than HDR10. Of course, if you've been dealing with HDR10 and you've been buying TVs for the last 2 years, you know that that was the HDR that people were claiming they were using. A lot of movies came out with HDR10. And, yeah, man. So now we find out, of course, Dolby Vision is the better HDR. But then there's HDR10 coming. HDR10 Plus, I mean. So, I may get the Samsung Q6 and see what this HDR10 crap is about. Well, should I say HDR10 Plus? Because this TV is HDR10 and Dolby Vision. And I may see. Now, I do want to talk about the Samsung the Q6 FN, which is the two, because I gotta say FN flat and new. Samsung Q6 QLED 6 series flat new 2018 Samsung TV. That is an Edgelit TV, and coming from Edgelit to a Fullaray, which this Sony is, the X900F has a way better picture than the Ks8500. There's a lot of people out there saying the Ks8500 looks good. It still looks so good. If you have that TV, you do not have to run out and buy this TV or upgrade to the QLED or any of that stuff. You don't have to do it. If my TV worked fine, I will be honest, I would have preferred this picture over my Ks8500. So if you do have the money, yeah, you're going to get a better picture. This is not a lie. This Fullaray screen has taught me, and I even see the contrast in this picture, that the Fullaray is way better than the Edgelit. Now, just for you guys to know, I have checked out OLED, and I'm not one of those people that hate OLED. I hate what's going on with OLED. There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of people fanboying with these TVs. This is worse than the console world, guys. These TV people are very suspicious. You can't trust most of them. And, yeah, so let's get into this whole OLED thing. The OLED versus the Edgelit, no conversation. You do not even talk about Edgelit in the same conversation as the OLED. You keep Edgelit to full array, which means they're both LED displays. Full array just has more dimming zones than Edgelit. Yeah, I've been reading and learning this stuff. Like I said, I'm a peasant. So for those of you who feel like correcting me, just go on ahead and do that in the comments. I'm pretty sure there's going to be people that said, you just said this wrong, said that wrong. Possibly I could have, but I actually know what I'm talking about right now, and I'm going to stick to that. Okay, so you can argue with me in the comments all day if you want. I'm just going to give you my experience and what I know so far. Okay, so OLED is definitely better than everything on the market. It looks beautiful. It reminds me of back in the day when the plasma came out, and then the plasma was just crushing everything. But then you heard those horrifying stories about plasma having this burning going on. Now, a lot of people are going to tell you that OLEDs do not, it takes a lot to get burning, or even image retention. Now, I spoke to the guy who was fanboying for this damn Sony, and let me see what just happened in the back. Oh, see how the screen just did that? It went solid blue. I think it did that because that'll cause damage to screens. See, this is what I'm talking about too. I think that's why I did that. Because these OLEDs, now let's talk about this. There's a lot of dirty secrets with OLED that I'm going to talk about. And there's people that talk about this, but not the people that should be talking about this. And I'm probably going to title this video Fullaray versus OLED, because that's the main reason for this video. Fullaray is beautiful. It's the closest thing you're going to get to OLED. However, OLED is better than Fullaray, and the proof is in the pudding as far as the pricing. You get what you pay for. Fullaray is damn near as much as an OLED, but OLEDs are more. The reason I would suggest you don't get an OLED, and that's why I'm making this video, I'm against OLED, buying it, supporting the technology. The reason I'm going to say that is because OLED TVs have three things going on that are very spooky. The first is degradation. Apparently, the TVs look beautiful, but over time, they degrade in color. I didn't know this. And this is something they don't tell you. The other thing is the image retention, meaning if you play a game like Street Fighter and you're practicing and you have a health bar up there, that health bar is going to burn in over time because you're putting a lot of hours in with that, which is called a static image. The people in the store were saying 30 minutes is all it takes for this to start occurring. But if you listen online, now mind you, this is in the store, they're telling me this. Now, if you listen to the people online, they tell you 8 hours, thousands of hours. The guy in the store told me 30 minutes. And he's a Sony fanboy. Admittedly, it was 100% that these dudes would like, everybody in there had their preferences, because I went to the store for 2 days straight just researching and doing knowledge on what TV to get. Because I don't want to keep changing TVs. I'm not one of those people that want to buy a TV and then bring it back. I hate the fact that I have to lug this TV back tomorrow in this big box to the store and go through the whole 21 questions when they sold me a defective TV. So anyway, I digress. Back on track. The first thing is quality degradation as far as colors. Over time, OLEDs do lose quality. They're designed to actually lose color over time. I didn't know that. The image burning, the image retention, and last but not least, but most important of all, just like the problem I'm having here with this TV, the warranty. If you happen to actually fall asleep on your TV and wake up and there's image retention, or should I say image burn, oh well. Now, there is a tool in these TVs to wipe the screen if it's just burning. But if it's retention, they can clean that. But if it's burning, no, you're screwed, bro. If you got like a fucking Mortal Kombat health bar up in the corner and that's there, you're screwed. You're screwed. And the fact that the warranty doesn't cover that is a red flag to not trust the tech. And I support it, in my opinion. Now, it is all about, you know, having the money and, you know, getting what you want. If you got $3,000 and you just want to throw it around because you want the best quality, and, you know, I'm not hating. Go ahead and do that. But I just don't feel like, as a consumer, it's right to support a company that's not doing right by its tech. If you know you have all of these things wrong with the technology, give me the option to replace my TV if your tech happens to fail me. Because that's a hardware failure to me. So I don't get why people, you know, I get the picture of OLED making people go crazy, but I don't get why people go crazy defending that situation. To me personally, it's not something you should be defending. And it was an easy decision for me to just not go with OLED when I saw that the guy was saying 30 minutes. Because I'm a person that, like, see how my TV's on in the back sitting here? This was an OLED. I would be losing my crap right now. And the OLED is not for people that are paranoid. You have to really be paranoid. You have to be like, oh, well, hold on, you know, turning channel. You have to be careful with an OLED. And the more you're not careful with an OLED, apparently the more quality you'll lose over time. So the bottom line is, even if you decide to buy an OLED, that's a TV that you just plan on keeping for 2 or 3 years and getting rid of. So if you're one of those people that like upgrading TVs every year and you got the money, then fine, get an OLED. You'll be fine. But if you're somebody that's looking to get a TV and hold on to it for a little while and chill like I try to do, then yeah, OLEDs are not for you. Now, I probably could get away with the OLED if I changed my TV display consumption and yeah, this going to sleep on me. I mean, let me see what's going on with this real fast. I just want to see out of curiosity. Okay, so the screen came back on when I did that. But yeah, that's my whole point. I don't like that about OLED. So Fullaray's fine. It looks very close to OLED. OLED has better color than Fullaray, but Fullaray has way more color than Oled. So why am I considering the Samsung? Simply because the tech inside of the TV on the Sony is really outdated. The HDMI port and the way it handles that is really a fucking obnoxious, just simply put, in my opinion. And Samsung, you get four HDMI 4K ports. You turn on your UHD color, and everything is enabled. That's it. You don't have to worry about what port you stick it in, and you know, that's what she said. And you don't have to worry about any of that stuff that's going on with this TV. And then when I turn on certain features, other features look worse. There's a lot with this TV. However, though, the most important thing, though, is the picture. And this definitely has a better picture than any Samsung that I've had so far. So I'm thinking, try the Q6 and see if it can compete. Because it's actually, and I'm starting to think that it won't. But more than likely, I'm just going to go to the store and replace this for another X900F. And keep it moving, because once again, these TVs are designed that next year I'm gonna have an outdated TV anyway. And next year is what, 7 months? So in 7 months I'm gonna have an outdated TV. So I'm just gonna enjoy it for the 7 months that I have it, wait for it to break and then take it and get another one. That's just how these TVs are working right now, and that's what I'm noticing and what I'm seeing from all of this. So with that being said, man, my opinion is Fullaray is the best way to go in 2018 for buying a TV. Especially one that offers you Dolby Vision, because HDR10 now apparently is like some kind of fraudulent HDR. HDR10 Plus is something that has to be enabled going forward. There is no standard for HDR currently at the moment. I actually thought it was HDR10, but nope, HDR10 and Dolby is still fighting, so you have no standard. So the best thing to do is probably get a TV that has both HDR10 and Dolby Vision, which this does, and you know, pray. Like I said, I've been doing some tests on this TV, and there's a lot of funny things with HDR. I'm able to turn on HDR on HDMI port 1 on this TV, which doesn't support 10-bit. So how the hell am I able to enable HDR on this 8-bit if the color gamut reaches HDR? Technically, yeah, you can turn it on, but it's not HDR. So the fact that they're doing these weird little tricks and things with this, there's a lot of funny stuff going on. And like I said, to me, you should just try to get the best picture you could find. And currently right now, this TV did have the best picture that I've seen out of all the TVs that I could find. The only TV that had a better picture than this was the actual the Sony Oled that they have out now. I forgot the name of the model of it, but that's the only TV I've seen with a better picture. So in my opinion, I would stick with the Fullaray. Now the Samsung Fullaray TV, which is the Q8 and the Q9, 65-inch, they forced you to get a 65-inch if you want a Fullaray. Great job, Samsung. However, those TVs look amazing as well, probably slightly better than this. But once again, this TV is $1,000 if you have to buy it. That TV's $3,000. And remember, you spend $3,000 on a Fullaray, you're now talking about you could have had an OLED. Then on top of it, if you buy the $3,000 Fullaray from Samsung, now you're talking about having an obsolete TV next year when they decide to add whatever stupid HDR gimmick they add. So once again, man, I'm not going to be spending $3,000 for a slightly better picture than this that's $1,000, or a picture that's exactly the same as this, because it's all about the features in the TV and how they handle these things. So with that being said, man, this is what's going on. This is what happened. I ended up with the Samsung Bravia X900F. Unfortunately, like I said, this display port that I'm showing you in the back, those snow effect you see, that actually comes on if I'm watching anything with a black background. I have YouTube on night mode, and the whole background looks like this. And depending on how long I leave the TV on, there's more snow particles forming across the screen. I wish I could show it to you now, but I don't feel like getting into all of that. I'm just going to take the TV back. I'm not even going to try to figure out what's going on. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I tried my PC, my PS4 Pro, and my Xbox One X on that same port. They work fine on the HDMI 3 with Extreme 4K on. For some reason, when I plug the same HDMI cable into HDMI port 2, I get snow. Now, depending on what I plug into there, I get even more snow. So something's definitely wrong with the HDMI port. You know, it's only doing it on one port. The same exact HDMI cable when I plug it into a HDMI port 3, which has Extreme 4K, no problem. Plug it in HDMI port 2, I get all kinds of snow, and if I leave it running like I did now, it gets worse. So I'm going to see. If I get another Sony and it does that, I will not be buying a Sony TV for a very long time. But we'll see. We'll get to the bottom of it, and I'll do an update video and let you guys know what happened after I come from the store with the TV and I test it out and see what's happening. But this is going to be LED versus OLED. hot take, man. It's just my opinion on if you should get OLED, man. I think you should still stay the hell away from those TVs, at least until they add the image retention burn-in issue into the warranties. The least they could do is that, because that's like saying, hey man, we don't trust you guys, you're gonna probably burn your TV just to get another one. We're not gonna be replacing these things, man. Just take care of them. And if you're a gamer, you know who you are. If you're a gamer or somebody that watches the news or something like that, that's not a TV you want to get, man. It's gonna make you paranoid. You're gonna be constantly worried about if something's on the screen too long. If you're a stickler for tech and you know you're into it, you're not gonna have a good time with that. So that's just my opinion. If you're somebody that doesn't know anything about TVs and you got money to blow and you want a nice picture at the current moment, then the OLED is for you, because that is definitely a gold chain buy. The OLEDs even degrade over time, which I didn't know. You lose color quality over time with OLEDs. I did not know that. Apparently that's a thing. And I'm sure people will say, no, it's not. Well, based off the research I've done, yeah, OLEDs lose quality over time. And, you know, the burn-in is not covered by warranty. This is a fact, because I asked them at the store if I buy this TV, if they were going to give me a warranty for the burn-in, I would have had an OLED behind me right now. I would have found the extra money and played myself and actually got that TV, just because I feel like the picture was that good. But the pros and cons for OLED, nope. Now, Fullaray comes close but doesn't look as good. I'll repeat that. Comes close but doesn't look as good. But boy, is it a night and day difference from Edgelit. And yeah, man, my peasant eyes have been open. Anyway, it's your boy Jimmybgaming. Of course, let me know what you guys think in the comment section of this video. I'm pretty sure people may have opinions. If you're new here, you're probably going to come here and have some kind of opinion or disagreement, or you're a fanboy of this or that, whatever. Who cares? Just let me know what you think regardless, because this is my personal problem that I'm having with this Sony TV right now. If anybody else has this problem, let me know as well, because like I said, I looked online and people were just weird, man. There's a lot of fanboy activity involved in these topics, and I'm not here for that, because I just said I came from Samsung, which I've been rocking Samsung for years, and it took a lot for me to switch to Sony. But this picture is definitely worth leaving the Ks8500 behind. There are people saying that it holds up, it's just as good. That is a lie. I'm telling you now, take this from look, man, if I go over there and grab my phones and tablets, I got all kinds of Samsung devices in my house, and I'm telling you that this TV blew away that Ks8500's picture. It was so good, I even gave up the curve, and I've been rocking curved TVs for about, what, I say 4 or 5 years now, and I gave that up. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments. I'm out of here. Peace.